Sheets is rounding third. He's going to score. The throw to second, not in time. An RBI double for Campusano, and a 2-2 game here in the fifth.
Well, all I have to say about that particular highlight is hallelujah. The rest of it, not so much. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris, everybody. The post-game edition, a Friday get-together here on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, that's us. We're together here in the Odyssey Palace studios. I look like I'm looking at the camera. I look like I'm dug in a ditch somewhere. Kind of, I guess that's appropriate.
I was going to say, are you with the Undertaker right now?
No, I just feel like the Padres are in a ditch. I know. It's 7 games into the season, but my goodness. 5-2 was the final today. Boston wins the first of the series. And we'll, get into all of it. There's plenty to complain about there, certainly. And, but we got 3 hours, so we'll, I'm sure, get it done. We have the notes on a scorecard a little bit later on in the program. And we have our countdown today on a Friday, so we can look forward to some stuff like that. But for the time being, that was, kind of what we've seen so far this season. I imagine two of the people that a lot of you want to blame are, one, Craig Stammen, the new manager. He doesn't know what he's doing. Two, Wandy Peralta, the reliever who Craig Stammen keeps bringing into games and who keeps giving up runs and games. That's twice, really, that Wandy's performance has put the game out of reach.
My lips are sealed, Chris.
Right, and keep them sealed, and I'm going to tell you why you need to keep them sealed. Because Craig Stammen right now could bring in Goose Gossage in his prime. Craig Stammen could bring in Trevor Hoffman in his prime. Craig Stammen could start Tom Seaver or the 1975 Cy Young edition of Randy Jones. He could do all of those things, and they'd still be 2-5. You know why? Because they can't hit. And all the rest of it doesn't matter. I mean, we'll talk about all the rest of it. We'll talk about the catcher's interference. We'll talk about, this, that, and the other. And, but when you don't hit, when you don't score, and let's be honest, if it wasn't for the sun, they would have been shut out today. And if it wasn't for Casey Schmidt's follies the other day, who knows if they would have had enough to beat the Giants. The ball falls in for what they call a triple. And that's how the Padres got their 2 runs today. Rafaela catches that ball if he could see it, but he couldn't. So the Padres got a break there. But that's it. They have no offense. They can't score. And honestly, the rest of it doesn't mean a hill of beans. It just doesn't. Vince Lombardi could not win if the Packers couldn't score. Bill Belichick couldn't win any Super Bowls if the Patriots were shut out every week. So if you want to think it's managing, fine. If you want to think it's the hitting coach, fine. If you want to think it's the general manager, fine. And if you want to blame Peralta, okay. But these guys are making how much money to bat at the top of this order?
Oh, hold on. I did the calculations. Give me a second here,
These
Chris.
guys are making how much money?
All right.
Hang on before you answer, but I just want to finish. How much money are they making? How many people think Fernando is just a superstar, one of the best players in the league? How many are convinced that Manny is guaranteed to go 30-100 every year? If none of that stuff's happening, the rest of it isn't going to matter. The top of the order, as Sammy pointed out, I'm sure ad nauseum on the postgame show, was 0 for 19 today with a walk. And that walk came with 2 outs and nobody on base in the 9th inning with the game pretty much over. Those guys, Fernando, Merrill, Machado, Laureano, who's even been the one guy who has hit some, Bogarts returning home to all this fanfare at Fenway Park. 19 straight at-bats, 19 straight times they didn't get on base, nothing. 19. So the rest of it, to me, is immaterial until the guys that are supposed to do something Scraby, start doing something.
Yes, the first four guys in the lineup, when I went to do my calculations.
Fernando, okay, you're doing Fernando, Bogey,
Manny, and Merrill.
How much do those four guys make combined?
This is taken out of their luxury tax number of about $255 million. Okay. They make $96.6 million, which is 38% of the luxury tax number.
So they make $96 million, those four guys. Now that's
96.6.
Of course, yeah. Far for me to.
We could round it up to 97 if
Let's just go right to 97. We are 97.3, so it'd be easier for me to remember. $97 million. And you want to blame, a middle reliever for losing these games? You want to blame a first-year manager for losing these games? That's fine if it makes you feel better. The reason they're losing these games is because $97 million right now is buying you bubkas. I love that word, Scrabe. Yeah. It stands for nothing.
Yes.
They're getting nothing. Manny Machado, he has as many RBIs right now as I do. Now, before I overreact, Manny finished with 95 RBIs last year, and at one point in the middle of the season, he went 14 games without an RBI. This is only 7. It kind of points out still how early this is. But Fernando Tatis Jr. has come to the plate over 30 times. It's a small percentage compared to a season, but it's still quite a few at-bats and plate appearances. He has 1 extra base hit. Fernando Tatis Jr. is supposed to be the face of this, the guy that everyone's going to jump in behind, and he's going to carry us somewhere. That's got to change. And until it does, we can talk to we're blue in the face. I really believe that. That's it.
I'm with you.
I hate to make it so simple, but what else really is there?
Real quick, we need to do this, and then we can keep talking.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
This is Craig Stammen, manager of the Padres. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Who let that guy on our radio station?
I'll even take Bogaerts out of the mix right now because I don't really count on Bogaerts for a lot.
It doesn't matter. He's being paid for a lot.
Fine, but I'm leaving him out of this particular moment. Fernando Tatis, Jackson Merrill, and Manny Machado. To me, as those 3 guys go, this team's going to go. They have now come to the plate 86 times, the 3 of them combined. 86. I think that's a pretty good sample. They have 1 home run between them. They have 4 doubles. They have a .297 slugging percentage between them and a .208 batting average. I will give them a lot of credit. The 3 of them have walked 12 times. That's not going to win you any games. Those 3 guys have to do damage.
Their job is not to walk.
They have to do damage.
It is when they get a walk, but you can't look for the walk. And I know they're not looking for it.
I know walks are not winning us games. Manny has no RBIs. Fernando has 2. Jackson Merrill has 4. 2 of those came, to beat the spread. The 2-run homer with 2 outs in the 9th. The rest of it is, again, I just feel it's immaterial. Michael King was all right. He made a terrible pitch to Wilson Contreras, and Contreras made him pay for it. But on the other side, Sonny Gray did not throw every single pitch on the black. He left some pitches in the middle of the plate. Most of those were fouled off.
Yeah.
That's the difference right now, what I'm seeing. Wandy came in, it was already 3-2. Well, who cares if it's 19-2?
Well, that's when he should be pitching, actually.
My point being, they weren't going to ever get to 3.
Well, they got to 7 the other day, finally.
With a lot of help. When we talked about it, the other day. We were excited that they won a game, but we tried to put it into perspective. They had their first 2 runs the other day, came in precisely because the other team's first baseman couldn't do the easiest thing on the field, which is catch a throw. And the 4 runs that they put the game away with in the 8th inning came as a result of 4 walks and the Laureano hit the home run. To me, the Laureano home run was about the only run they really earned in that game. So it is what it is right now. You got to find a way to break out of this. Every team's probably going to go through it. And the old saying, if it happens in the middle of August, nobody notices it, but it's happening now. and it's getting us off to a really crappy start. And, I think everybody's has a right to be at the very least frustrated. I don't know that concerned is fair. I think it's way early for that.
Here's why I tell you why you can be concerned.
Why I can be?
Yes, because we have done this before, and it's not a comfortable spot. But when you're swimming upstream all year trying to get to 500, and I know they're only they're
3 games behind
under 500.
They're 3 games under 500.
But when you're trying the entire season to get to 500, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for the players. It's exhausting for the fans.
Yeah, but I don't care about you.
I don't want to get too far behind. I know Manny starts slow, but we need Manny to start when the season starts.
Let me just shoot that whole theory down about as hard as I can.
Do you have proof?
Do I have proof?
The
year they beat the Dodgers and went to the NLCS, if you go back to that season, they spent the whole first 100 games under 500. They would get close, they'd lose. They'd get to 500, they'd lose. I remember them losing the first game after the All-Star break that year to the Guardians 10-0, which I think dropped them again to 50-50.
It was not good.
And after that, they went lights out the rest of the season. They beat the Dodgers, took us all the way to the NLCS.
I don't think that's the same season with the Guardians.
Of course, all that happened in the same year.
In 2022?
What I'm saying is 7 games, it's overreaction by all of us.
Yes.
But what I'm talking about is trying to get everybody to understand why they're 2-5. That's all I'm trying to get. And why they're 2-5 right now is because Fernando's not doing anything, Merrill's not doing anything, and Manny's not doing everything. And as long as those 3 guys don't do anything, the rest of it isn't going to matter.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
There are very few teams, and the Dodgers are even included. Go 0-19 with your first 5 guys in the order. If you do, you're gonna take a lot of L's. A lot of L's. The Dodgers finally broke out of it, by the way, today. Ohtani hit his first home run, and Kyle Tucker hit his first home run, and I think they scored.
Miles Michaelis.
Well, yeah, Miles Mike. Why can't we face him? Maybe that would break us out.
Chris?
But
I guarantee you the Padres make him look like Cy Young the day that they face him.
Well, that's how you feel right now.
Yes, I get it.
I understand
it's all jumbled together in my head. I just need this team to. And I know they're 7 games in. I'm not panicked. I still think they're going to be the team that makes the playoffs. But acts like, these games actually count. It's just bad baseball to watch.
What is bad about it, though, really? They're not kicking the ball around. Out.
1, 2, 3, out.
Lawrence Welk innings?
Yeah. Yes.
A 1, a 2, a 3?
I will say this. Yeah. You said Fernando's, not being a star, which I can agree at the plate, but he makes some pretty darn...
Made a great attempt at that fly ball. He didn't catch it. It was a hell of a try.
But it made me think of what you said. He is a superstar defensively.
Fine. Padres are not going to the playoffs if Fernando's a superstar defensively.
You're right.
That's not going to get them to the playoffs.
I'm all over the place.
He can win all of the platinum gloves he wants to win. If Fernando doesn't hit 25 to 30 home runs, steal 30 to 40 bases, and slug in the 5 to 600s, or OPS at least in the 6 or 700s, they're not going to get where they want to go. You're not going to get carried there by Gavin Sheets.
No.
You're not going to get carried there by, Fermin or Campusano.
You're not going to get carried there by sun balls.
And you're not going to be able to rely on the ball getting lost in the sun every game. Eventually, somebody's got to hit, and those 3 guys have got to hit, and they didn't today, and they look crappy. They got 4 hits again, and instead of worrying about the 500 mark, the Padres right now have to be worried about the Mendoza line, which is the 200 mark, which is where their batting average as a team continues to hover around. They were 202 going into the game today. I assume they've fallen below the 200 mark after the 4 hits. And one last thing that just goes along with everything we've seen. Mayer hit the home run. Mm-hmm. It was 5-2. You know it. I know it. But I didn't want them to know it. The game was over.
Yep.
But you know what? They played like the game was over.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 more at-bats after that Mayer home run. They went Lawrence Welk, and a 1-2 before Manny walked in the last inning. The next 8 guys all got out. They didn't put any pressure on Boston at the end of that game. And it does. It looks like they just rolled over and lost 5-2. And that is something that is bothersome. I remember we've had some teams that have struggled before, but it feels like we can always say, well, yeah, they got 3 in the 8th, though. They came back. They kept fighting. They kept scrapping. They kept clawing. Can't say that about this team. Not doing anything.
And that's not, it hasn't changed for me
in
for a
7
couple
days.
Years. No, for a couple of years. It sometimes
they
feels
won 90 games last year.
I know,
they
but
couldn't have done this. They could not have done this all year last year.
You're right.
And won 90 games.
I am a crazy person for thinking that, but at the same time, it feels like it's always like this, especially when we're in the midst of it.
Can I remind you? Can I
just end?
I'm dealing with a crazy person here. Can I remind you that last year after 7 games they were what?
7-0.
Okay, so it's not always like this. Stop saying that. Just as recently as last year, it wasn't like this. But it is this year.
Fair point.
And we got to get out of it.
Fair
All right,
point.
We're underway for a Friday. Gwynn and Chris. 5-2 was the score for Boston. Tell you what else is going on in sports. Like I said.
Big news, Chris. Have you seen it?
I don't know.
Oh, breaking news about the NBA.
All right, we'll talk about that when we come back, I guess.
Yes.
I hope I'll see it before then, and I'll share it with the rest of you. We have our notes on a scorecard later, so that will delve into everything that happened in today's game. And we got a countdown also coming up later in the show. Between now and 6 o'clock, it's Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 8th.
Padres 2. That was the final today. Padres offense stinks. We will get into that much more in detail. Notes on a scorecard coming up in about 10 minutes. Padre fans, do not go anywhere. It is Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. Tony is in Boston, and don't believe he's been able to join us today.
He's going to be eating some chowder.
That's right. He's Chowda took the spot. No, he's got a couple of appointments that he's got to get to there. So we'll be without Tony, but we'll carry you through until 6 o'clock here this evening. There are quite a few things going on out there that I want to get to. I want to remind everybody we are at the Bill House Studios. We know how. First, just a couple of quick baseball notes because we're a baseball radio station here. I mentioned it. Ohtani snapped out of it. Had a home run today, his first of the year. Tucker homered. Freeman homered. Betts homered. You know, our worst nightmare. Dodgers blasted Washington today. So the Padres are now in big trouble, Scrape. 3 back with 155 to play. I don't like their chances.
Okay, John Kruk.
3 back with a $155.
You know what? I don't want to be painted as the panic guy, but it is not good right now, and I'm not going to.
I'm not
shy
saying
away
it's
from
good,
that.
but the facts are the facts, and they are 3 back, and there are 155 to play. The biggest story in baseball today will not have anything to do with the Padres or the Dodgers. It'll have everything to do with the top prospect, maybe in baseball history, the way they have built this guy up. Connor Griffin, the shortstop for the Pirates, made his debut today. And wouldn't you know it, Scraby, his first time up with a man on base, he slammed one off the left center field wall. He missed a home run, maybe by 7-8 feet. It was at the bottom of the wall, but good start to his career, an RBI double. He later walked, and I think he struck out once. He did strike out, but that was after he won a ABS challenge too. So, you know, life is good for Connor Griffin right now.
It really is.
Pirates are
he got paid yesterday.
Yeah, Pirates are ahead of the Orioles in that game. One other note that I thought was, worth mentioning is to Cade Horton, who's one of the real young stars for the Cubs in their rotation. Exited the game against Cleveland today with something or other. He only threw 17 pitches. So
forearm tightness.
Yes,
we
one
know
of those
where that goes.
Well, sometimes it can go to the disabled list, which I still call the disabled list, with all due respect to the injured out there. Anyway, those are a couple of little baseball notes. The biggest news, as you said, going to break is in the NBA. Luka Doncic, and let me just say this: I'm going to read you the way this is written, and then I'm going to explain to you why, at least for the moment, this is a complete overreaction. Here's the headline. Lakers star Luka Doncic, who injured his hamstring last night, if you didn't see, in the Oklahoma City game. He hurt his hamstring. He went out of the game. Here's the headline today. Lakers star Luka Doncic is out for the rest of the season. But if you dig a little further into that, understand that the rest of the regular season is only 9 more days. Okay? That's it. They only have like 5-6 games left. Not going to matter too much. Here's where it could matter.
Yeah.
His availability beyond that is uncertain. And that is where it matters.
Because hamstrings heal quickly.
If the hamstring doesn't heal, the Lakers will probably start the playoffs, I'm going to say about 2 weeks from today, maybe, 13 days from now. They're going to have Luka Doncic. Right now, they're set up to play Minnesota in the first round once the play-in tournament takes place. That order could change, but they'll lose to Minnesota if they don't have Doncic. So that is where that is a big deal. And honestly, if Tony were here, he'd probably be giving you got one of those sounders, but Tony would be certainly crying his eyes out at the very least, because this is horrible news for the Lakers and their fans. I mean,
here you go.
No, he would not be doing that.
And then he would go.
Hell no.
No, he would not do that either.
Then he would go.
Pickles?
No.
What would he do?
He'd be crying.
Oh, I don't have him crying. That's what I'm looking
Not
at.
him. There you go. That's what I was looking for. That's Laker fans today. If Doncic cannot return for the playoffs. That is up in the air, but he will not play the rest of the regular season. That really doesn't matter. Like I said, there's only a week to go anyway in the regular season. But that is the big news there. The Final Four for the women starts tonight. Should be a incredible game about a half an hour from now. I mean, you're going to get you don't get any more heavyweight than South Carolina and UConn. So they're going head to head. And then later tonight, UCLA will take on Texas. Tomorrow will be the men's Final Four. And the big news coming out of that is that Tommy Lloyd, who all of the media have been just driving crazy with questions about him leaving and going to North Carolina, today agreed to a new 5-year deal to stay in Arizona. I will say this. Good on Arizona for doing this, because had they lost tomorrow, the fact that everybody is bugging him and the players about this would be something that could be used as a bit of an excuse to why they didn't have the focus they needed. They will now have the focus they need. But here's the funny thing about it. Now, Michigan coach Dusty May is the next guy being rumored to go to North Carolina. So all the writers have gone from the Tommy Lloyd press conference, run right over to the Dusty May press conference, and they're now asking him about going to North Carolina. Can we leave these people alone and let them coach their team in the Final Four? You can ask them on Monday.
It reminds me of
it
reminds me of the mob that chases Frankenstein out of town.
Right?
They're just following these people
Just
everywhere.
leave these guys alone. Their teams have made the Final Four. This is a great moment in everybody's life. It's something to really enjoy. And all you're dealing with is, when are you going to North Carolina? Are you going to North Carolina? Are you going to go? Well, now Tommy Lloyd's off the board, but Dusty May is taking the questions. So I think it's hilarious.
Is North Carolina, like I would assume because of the history, is it really a prestigious job?
It is. Okay. It is. I mean, it's college basketball. What do they call them? Blue bloods?
Yeah.
There's only a few of them.
Duke.
There's North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Kansas. And they're called blue bloods because they all wear blue. And they are the history of college basketball. UCLA was a blue blood back before, they started to suck. But, so that's why, North Carolina is a big deal. But let Dusty May coach his team tomorrow and then take it from there. There was one funny note out of the Final Four today, and I credit our guy, Dan Hurley, for just saying it straight up. He said, I'm not a victim. I've done everything that they say I've done. And if you want to criticize my behavior on the sidelines, it's fair.
Yes.
I give him credit for that. He knows who he is. He knows what he's all about. And he's not going to make excuses for it.
Should I preview the Big Five question?
Go ahead.
Does this absolve him of his behavior? That's the preview question.
I might need all this time before the Big Five to think it through. He did say one other thing that was funny. The whole video they keep showing of him bumping into the official the other day. I guess when they got to Indianapolis, he received a commemorative racing helmet.
Okay.
Because it's Indy 500.
Yeah.
And he goes, too bad I didn't get that last weekend. I could have used it to head bump the official after the game. So anyway, Dan Hurley is going to be, he's a character and he's part of everything. Tomorrow, it should be a great Final Four. I think both games are going to be tremendous. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. When we come back to the Padres, back to a 5-2 loss in Boston today, back to a game that didn't look very good. Back to a game in which it's fair if you want to say, they just don't look like they care that much. They're just kind of going through the motions. There's not a lot happening out on the field to argue against that. And, the bats are dead. They are flat out dead. And we will discuss everything that happened today in Beantown with notes on a scorecard when Gwynn and Chris continues.
Whoops. I was watching the show, Chris.
Ben and Woods.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched their name in the account system, and
what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better off.
You would be better.
You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days later.
What did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well, why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my goodness.
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names. No. But I walked in, I got called into the office, and I sat down, and all my boss, I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
oh my God! I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
This was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, they was like,
"Yeah,
that's our guy right there.
That's our window.
We're gonna take him down."
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for like. I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble? Or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
All of them get in trouble for selling information. But
I heard folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have. Been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh, yeah, you're not that bad.
I'm not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under these circumstances?
We can't anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it? Well, I mean,
no, Scrape. We didn't
really. Okay. Like you work at a bank, you're looking at people's account information.
That's
unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got
only for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious, Scrape.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
How long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, you know, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in
hundreds, and he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault. I come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out. He's trying to
what did I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s, he goes, "What are you doing?" I asked for 20s. And I'm like, what? You did not ask for 20s. You asked for 50s, bro. Yeah. I had to go to the vault to get those 50s. And as I was getting all mad and talking to my boss, he took the cash off the counter and put it into this folder that he had on the thing that
the original 5,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, well, he kept going like that, and then I was so mad, I just grabbed it and I threw it in my drawer. And then he was like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he walked out. And then at the end of the day, $3,000.
He got an extra 3 on you.
$3,000. Yeah, he got $3,000.
The thing about criminals like that, they can sniff out a mark really easy.
I'm not a mark.
You are 1,000%.
I was actually the bank's
dog. They got you for 3 extra.
And that's the only time in my 8 years that I ever had anything happen like that.
I'm sure there are people who've been there 8 years that never had 0 taken.
Scrape, I got a 20 here. Can I get 5 5s, please?
hate you guys.
Let's get to
That was one of the worst moments of my life, but you know what? It taught me a lot. Never trust anyone ever again.
you know what? You definitely have learned because you don't trust very many people.
I don't trust anyone anymore.
You are
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched her name in the account system, and
Scrappy. What is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better
I
off.
thought it was
You would be
cool.
better. You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
This guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days
What
later.
did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well,
why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my!
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names.
No.
But I walked in, I got called into the office, and I sat down,
gosh.
and all my boss, I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, "We're gonna have to write you up for this, and if you do it again, we're gonna have to fire you." And I said, "I'll never do it again." And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I
Gwynn and Chris, all guests on 97.3 The Fan. Join us on the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not Big Bank Banking. It's better. Normally we have a Friar Friday, of course, but with the game already being played today, our Friar Friday is idle. As I like to say.
Yeah, and canceled is a negative word.
It's idle. So we'll have a Friar Friday for you next week, of course.
Yes.
And we've already asked, Scraby asked the PR department. We're looking for anybody between now and then who gets a hit. So, we'll take anybody. They had 4 of them today. Count them. None of them by the top 5 guys in the lineup. That's pathetic. 0 for 19 with a measly walk that came 2 outs in the 9th inning. And the batting average of the team drops below the Mendoza line. It's not been good. Not been good so far. And that's all we talked about at the beginning of the show. But honestly, we're going to talk about everything now in the notes in the scorecard, everything that happened today, from Peralta to this, that, and the other. But I don't think any of it matters until Fernando, Manny, and Merrill start doing something. And, so that's kind of where I'm sitting. Scraby's pretty much in full panic mode.
No, don't paint me as that.
Here's what you say. You go, I'm in full panic mode. And then the next sentence is, but I'm not panicking.
I am not panicking. I'm just a little perturbed how the season has started.
I think everybody should be perturbed. There's absolutely no question about it. Coming up, our countdown later on, you will not believe some of the statistical crazy things that have happened over the years in Major League Baseball. I bet you this is stuff even I didn't know before we found a lot of it today. So that'll be coming up later in our countdown. Right now, though, Scraby, give me some traffic and then get my wife's shopping list out.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Eller.
This traffic report is brought to you by Rivermark Medical. Hitting those brakes westbound on the 8 just before the 67. You got a breakdown and one lane is blocked. Rivermark Medical is conducting a rapid 3 study for FlowStent, a minimally invasive device designed to relieve symptoms from BPH. Men 45 or older suffering from frequent, painful, or difficulty urinating may qualify. Learn more at rivermarkmedical.com. That's rivermarkmedical.com. I'm Sue Aller with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
What did Chris like? What does Chris want to clean up? Observations written on a grocery list. Notes on a scorecard starts now.
All right, here is my wife's shopping list, or much of it. She's going to have to buy a new one. I'm already running through all the
I was
pieces
wondering
of
about
paper
this.
here.
Does she get upset that you are stealing all of her? And because you're using at least 5 pages per
today's
notes.
maybe 6 or 7. There was a lot on my mind today. All right. So
now, do you sit there and you write on the list?
Yeah, as the game's going on.
All right.
Yeah, I don't.
I just kind of visualize that. I like visualizing.
Yeah, I sit on the couch. I got the clicker because I'm DVRing fast forward.
Oh, you're a left-handed clicker.
I'm left-handed, so of course I click left-handed.
Interesting.
Then when something happens that catches my eye, I drop the clicker for the moment and I write it on the scorecard, and then I return to the game.
Okay.
Here's the first thing I wrote today. Scrape says it right at the top of my list. Shopping list. Perfect sunny day in Boston. Why did that catch my eye? Because it's nice to know that the weather people in Boston are as terrible as the weather people in San Diego are.
Okay, this was the forecast. The snow was forecast a week
for
ago.
Snow.
Oh, stop yelling that.
It wasn't even close to snow. I mean, at least if you're going to say it's going to snow and it doesn't snow, at least have it be overcast. Come on, you weather people are just
Did you listen
terrible.
to Jesse? He said that it was overcast and cold the entire morning until
But it wasn't when the game started. It was brilliant sunshine. They couldn't have missed on the weather report more than they missed.
I am
Sorry,
not going to
but
be.
This is one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, I don't know
weather
about
people who can't figure out the weather.
They didn't predict this. This was a week ago's forecast. Yesterday or the 2 days ago, we talked, and it wasn't snow anymore.
Get close,
Chris. I am not a part of this meteorologist hate that Chris has. I am distancing myself.
This is my notes on a scorecard.
I'm distancing.
You want to do your own notes on a scorecard? You don't have to mention the fact that it was perfectly sunny. But I do when I'm expecting snow in the forecast.
I'm just going to keep telling Chris it's going to rain just so he gets angry.
Xander Bogaerts came up in the first inning. I realized right away they love him a lot more than we've ever come to like him. He's never gotten that kind of ovation here. Took his helmet off, tipped it to the crowd.
All I got is the eek face emoji.
The poor guy practically gets booed when he comes to the bat here.
Yeah.
They still love him there.
Yeah.
First inning went about as I expected, with one team hitting 202 and the next team hitting 208. Sonny Gray needed 8 pitches to wipe out the Padres. Michael King got it done in 10. Second inning, I jotted this down because this is what I talked about earlier in the show, but to me it's an example of what's going on. Miguel Andujar came up in the top of the second inning, worked the count to 3-1. When the count is 3-1 and you are a big league hitter, one of two things should happen next. Either you should walk or you should hit the ball really hard, especially since it's 3-1 and you're pretty sure a fastball's coming and you're pretty sure it's going to be close to the middle of the plate because the pitcher can't afford to walk you. Well, he got the fastball. It was right down the middle, and he fouled it off to the side. This is what we're seeing right now. Wilson Contreras later in the game got a fastball down the center of the plate. It went over the green monster. These are the differences right now. Andujar then would ground out. Wilson Contreras, before the home run, had one of those really cool, and I think we're going to now see it all the time. He had the cool helmet tap walk. I like this now. Randy
Arozarena down here during that.
Randy Arozarena gets credit for inventing it, but Wilson Contreras perfected it today. 3-2 pitch. He took it. He dropped his bat. He tapped his helmet, and he just started walking to first base.
He did.
And he was right. So, I just thought it was cool. And since we're all about being cool these days, I think we'll see that a lot more often as the season goes on. But he was erased, by the way. Really an excellent double play. 2 to 6 to 3. Luis Campusano, well done. Hopped out on that little dribbler, fired a peg to second. Crony makes a good turn. That's a nice double play. It was only the second best double play turn by the Padres today, as it turned out. I also made note of this. In the second inning, Chad Durbin of the Red Sox. Caleb, thank you. Chad Durbin might be playing other sport. Caleb Durbin of the Red Sox, where's number 5? If you're a Red Sox fan out there, to me, that's Noma. And I I guess his number's not retired. And Nomar Garciaparra, to me, was such a legend when he was in Boston. Now, I don't think he ever made legend status with the Dodgers or any of these other teams. But in Boston, I thought Nomar was revered almost as much as Paul Revere.
Does it?
So I'm surprised that his number's not retired. I thought it would be.
Didn't they have a bad breakup or something?
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Somebody knows better or more, tell me. But I thought Nomar's number kind of deserved retire type treatment there. Yeah. Cronenworth comes up. This again. Sheets gets on base. Cronenworth's up. 3-0 count. Strike one, strike two, strike three. Like, you're that close to getting first and second. And he got a 3-1 pitch as well, and he fouled it off. But at least that one wasn't right down the middle.
Yeah.
Of course, that with Sheets stealing second, that brought up our runners in scoring position situation, and Campusano and Tatis could not get the run in. Bottom of the third inning, Marcelo Mayer.
Marcelo.
I loved his double to left field today. It didn't help the Padres.
No.
But I like the Green Monster. And not only do I love the actual height of the Green Monster, I love the fact that they have the little scoreboard in there and the ball caromed off the box of the top of the fifth inning and went way, way over there. Yeah. It didn't help, like I said, the Padres. I love quirky stuff in a ballpark. I just think it adds to the fun of the game. There was no way Laureano knew where that ball was going to go.
No.
Nobody did. And that just, to me, is part of the fun of it. I wish more ballparks had those little quirks. We have the Petco porch, and it creates some fun out there when the ball rolls around.
And
so I like
mean,
it.
Fernando seems to be the only guy who can
absolutely. It's a bit of a home. It's a bit of a home field advantage because Fernando is used to it.
And he did. He was. I found it interesting when we knew it was going to right field. The first one when he hit the long, Marcelo Meyer hit the long ball. Fernando's looking back like he had no familiarity with right field in Fenway Park.
He didn't get to the wall. Maybe, we'll talk about that because that's later in the scorecard. Meyer comes home on a single by Rafaela. This did not end up mattering. Jackson Merrill's throw was horrible. And it was horrible for two reasons. One, it was over everybody's head, and it landed to Campusano like 10 minutes after the guy scored. There was no reason for that throw, and it allowed the hitter to take second base, which could have cost you another run. You can't make those mistakes. It's a little thing. Jackson Merrill knows better.
Yeah.
Get that throw down. Get it on the line. Give me a chance to cut it off if I have to. But he's just unyielding. I don't know what that was from Jackson. I expect a little better from him there.
That's two times in the last 3 games that they've made bad throws from the outfield.
Well, yeah, that's a bad throw. Jackson Merrill needs to know better. You can't just airmail that throw.
No.
Look, if you get the guy at the plate, then you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
But if you're not going to get the guy at the plate and it's not even going to be close, you can't give the guy who hit the ball second base. That will cost you a game down the road. Moments later, there was a break in the action. For the 1 billionth time now, since it was invented, the pitch comm broke in somebody's hat, and they had to go into the dugout and get it. When can they get a pitch comm thing that works? We have technology for everything, Scraby, but at least once a game, the pitcher goes, I can't hear, the catcher, I can't hear.
I wonder how much of that is just reset, like giving some time. I know you're not allowed to talk during the whole pitch comm thing.
I don't know what it is. I don't know, but it seems like it happens to everything. Of course, Xander comes up in the 4th inning, cranks one to left field. When he was a Red Sox, that ball would have hit the wall. But he's a Padre now, so it came up short, and it was caught.
So Petco Park follows him.
I guess. Xander can't get lucky ever. All right, bottom of the 4th inning, or 5th inning, I think it was. It was 1-0 at the time. Who leads off? I think it was Duran. It was a hard ground ball down the first base line. It took a hop. It would have been a web gem. Sheets, dives, it bounced just over his glove. That's a double. I'm not being critical. What I'm saying is we're just going to have to live with the fact that there's some balls that are going to go down the line this year that are going to get into the corner that wouldn't always get into the corner if you had a really good fielding first baseman, which we just don't have. And I'm not trying to be critical. There's very few players could have made that play. but I don't have a lot of confidence now when I see a hard ground ball down the first base line. I feel like it's going to get through.
But I do
And
feel
it
like
did.
he's at least in the position to make a play.
I'm being way too. I'm trying to say this without being critical. It
I get
probably
what
is
you're
coming
saying.
off as
I get what you're
critical.
saying. I get what you're saying.
But I don't expect that play to be made. It wasn't. And of course, boom, 2 outs. Second runner stays at second. But the voice came into my head at that moment of Mike McCurdy.
Mike McCurdy
Yes,
came into
Mike
your head.
McCurdy's voice popped
Oh,
into
man.
my head right after the double, and then King got the next 2 outs, and the runner was still out there. When I was pitching in Beverly Hills High School, if something like that happened where there was a runner in scoring position, but I left him there, Mike McCurdy would yell, "Hey, let's go. Not out of the woods yet." Because you had to get one more out.
I love it.
I remember this. It's
Not
one
out
of
of
those.
the woods
You're
yet.
not out of the woods yet. And I wrote it down right here. I said, he's not out of the woods yet. And wouldn't you know it, next guy got a single, 2-0 Boston. So, you get the first 2, but you got to get that third.
I love that. You're not
You
out
weren't
of
out of the woods yet. No. And Merrill's throw on that one was equally horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Jackson was doing today with the throws.
I think he was pressing.
Maybe he was. I think he was just. Yeah, I think he was. Look, when you're not scoring, you realize you can't give up a run.
Yeah, you have
so
to be
you're trying
perfect.
desperately to throw the guy out at home, even when you can't. Finally, the Padres score. Get the break on the Sun ball. Andujar ends up on third base. Some credit to Andujar here. How many guys hit a fly ball to center field and jog to first base because they know it's going to be caught?
A lot.
Andujar did not. Otherwise, he wouldn't have ended up on third. He only made it to third by a step. Appreciate that from Andujar on a team that right now doesn't care.
Yeah.
Apparently, people think.
Hey, sometimes I question.
Later in the inning, Campusano doubles off the wall to tie the game. Could not have been happier for that. His first hit since August 31st of 2024. He was 0 for 35 in between his last hit and that one.
Let's hope that unleashes
I hope
him.
so. I really, really do. Really interesting note threw in there on the telecast at that moment from Bob Scanlon. I liked it. I'll pass it along to you. You may not know this, and I don't think you will if you didn't watch the game. Fenway Park's the oldest park in baseball, right? 1912.
Yes.
But there's one park in baseball that has an edifice as part of the ballpark that is older than Fenway Park. Do you know where it is?
What's an edifice?
It's a building.
Oh, is it Western Metal?
Yes. The oldest building that is part of a
That
stadium
is wild.
in all of baseball is the Western Metal Supply Company building. That building's been there longer than Fenway Park has been in Boston.
Wow.
Thought that was a good one by
That
Scan.
is a really good one. Do you know what Jesse said? And now you're giving me facts about
Okay.
Fenway.
All right.
Fenway opened in 1912.
Right.
Just a few days later, the Titanic sank.
Right.
And they were in the Northeast. So a guy that stuff is weird to me.
That's a little odd. I think Wrigley was also 1912, a little later in the week. All right, bottom of that inning, first guy gets on. Ground ball, not even a ground ball, a sizzling shot on one hop up the middle by Trevor Story.
Yep.
Analytics tell us that Jake Cronenworth is the worst second baseman in baseball. I've read it way too many times. He has no range. You analytic people didn't see that play, did you? What a play that was. There, you may see a double play somewhere that's as good as that. You're not going to see many better. That was a fantastic play that Jake made on that double play.
It was.
Diving.
And I thought about the analytics immediately.
Short hopping it. Yeah, the analytics. Jake can't do anything. That's why I don't pay attention
And I
to
thought
that
about
crap.
Chris immediately too.
That's why I don't pay attention to that crap. All right, we got a couple innings to go. So we'll get to that when we come back. Are we going to do Chris versus the fans?
We're
Do you
going to
want
try, yeah.
All right, let me finish up the scorecard when we come back. But in the meantime, give us a call, 833-288-0973. We'll give you a chance to play some trivia. Coming up. Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second #1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos and then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh, yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. And this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Tony Gwynn Jr.'s in Boston, where the Red Sox beat the Padres 5-2 today. We were finishing up the notes on a scorecard. I didn't really have much else after the great Jake Cronenworth double play, other than the fact that the Red Sox won the game with those 2 home runs. We also talked about Wandy Peralta, and if you want to blame him, fine. He's not doing the job for sure, but he's not the reason they're 2-5. The lack of hitting is. I did have this one note before we get to Chris versus the fans. Xander Bogaerts leading off the 9th inning today. We've talked about this. There's a 3-1 count. He's the leadoff hitter. He's got to get on base to get something started. The next pitch from Chapman was this far outside, half an inch, whatever it was. The Padres had 2 challenges left. You've got to challenge that. You have to.
I feel like they're going to.
If they rule against you, it's strike 2.
So be it.
And it was strike 2 because that's what the ump called.
Yeah.
But if you get that call, which in this case you would have, now you've got a leadoff walk. That's a huge advantage.
Like Manny,
you have to challenge right there. You have to.
I get it, and I felt like Manny did what you wanted when he challenged that
by
pitch
that
inside.
time it was 2 outs.
I know. I feel like they're going to get better at this, though.
Yes, but why aren't they good at it yet? Why do I know what to do and they don't?
Because
That's what bothers me.
Because they're standing in the middle of a stadium with 40,000 people, and the situation is crazy.
That's a nice excuse, but Xander Bogaerts should have gone to the batter's box with one thing in mind: get on base. And all he had to do was tap his helmet, and he would have been on base. And after Chapman struck out Merrill, Machado walked, which would have brought Laureano to the plate with the tying run. You can't make mistakes like that. I'm sorry.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
All right, that's it for the scorecard. I've twisted myself into a tizzy with this Padre loss today. Let's have some fun and play some Chris versus the fans. 833-288-0973. If you'd like to dial in, we'd like you to play. You have a chance to win some fun stuff. Scraby, take it.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. How did it go yesterday, Chris?
We had a good day today. We didn't miss you at all.
No. It's not even what I was talking about.
Chris versus the fans?
Yes.
I think the first player...
We didn't even miss you at all.
No, we didn't. The first player yesterday, and excuse me for getting his name, but we have a lot of contestants. The first player was so good and ripped through all 3 answers that we considered changing the name of the game to... whatever his name, let's say his name was Steve.
Steve versus the fans?
Yeah, Steve versus the fans. He crushed it. The third question was name the circumference of a baseball. Before we were done saying it, he said 9 inches, and we're like, yeah. Like, what? How do you know this?
First off, I have seen that question in the list of questions for years, and I've never used it because no one knows.
No one could know that. He got it.
Unless you're like a baseball manufacturer, no one knows that.
Yeah, he's a savant in that regard. So great performance yesterday on Chris versus the fans. And I'm sorry, I don't think it was Steve, but I'm using that
help
name.
Us out.
Yeah, if you remember the guy's name, you did a great job.
All right, well, if you win today, you'll be qualified for a chance to win the grand prize, a 2-night stay at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and a $150 resort credit. May is here in Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. Or I'm sorry, did I just say May is here?
I think April is. I think it's definitely April. But
April is here. Yeah, it's definitely April. April is here in Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. Is the place to catch every game. High energy watch parties with expansive screens, great food and drinks, exclusive room rates, plus the pools and day club are open. Book your stay today at FontainebleauLasVegas.com now. The rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player. Oh, my goodness, Chris.
Yeah, I'm reading something.
That was lonely. I never want that again. That was so sad.
Sorry.
Okay, if you're a first-time player. Thank
There
you.
go. You're right.
Let us know before you get into it and you get that question for free today. It was, Kevin from Chula Vista? Mark from Chula Vista?
Yesterday? Yeah, maybe Mark. Yeah, sorry.
All right.
But whoever it was yesterday,
You were incredible.
you rocked it.
Okay, let's go to our first contestant for today, and we shall go to... Let's go to Jake. Hello, Jake.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hi, Jake.
Pretty good.
Welcome to
Pretty
it.
good. Ready to play?
Yeah, I'm a second-time caller, so does that mean I get the second question?
Yeah, sure.
That's a great
Jake.
logic,
That's a
but
great
it's
idea,
not.
but yeah,
it's not the rules.
It's not going to get past.
Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, or if you're not trying, you're not cheating. Okay.
Good job.
Here we
Jake.
go. Here we go, Jake. Question number 1. What team beat Duke in the NCAA tournament
What year?
this year?
This year.
It would be UConn, University of Connecticut.
That is correct. You don't like that one?
I don't like UConn and I don't like Duke. So I couldn't lose that game in that regard.
Yes, you could, because you get to see Dan Hurley jumping around like he's never won anything in his life.
Yeah, I was so happy for him.
And then he headbutted the ref or what? That was the weirdest thing.
I'm so happy for Dan Hurley. You're right. Good point.
All right. Question number 2. What Major League Baseball team got the first win of this season?
It's number 2.
Yes.
Okay, so the debut team. I'll tell you, it wasn't the Padres.
Very
No, it
good,
was
Jake.
not.
Jake, you're pretty sharp.
Oh, God, the first team to win. The Yankees.
You got it.
There you
Came up with
go.
it. Very good.
I thought I
Came
would
up with
trick a couple people there.
it. No tricking.
No tricking. All right, here we go. Question number 3. What team did Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his first career home run against?
We asked this before, maybe.
No, I asked the first hit.
First hit. Okay, this is first home run.
Yes.
Supposed to know that. It's a shot in the dark. Totally shot in the dark. I'm going to say the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
I mean, he does crush the ball at Dodger Stadium. Stay there.
I thought he did it against the Diamondbacks, but that might have been like his 3 home run game. But I'll say the Diamondbacks. I don't know.
Both were the Diamondbacks.
Oh,
He did.
man.
Sorry,
I
Jake.
pulled it
Thank you
out,
for
Jake.
playing.
Sorry, Jake. A rarity.
A rarity to get to question number 3.
Yeah, I pulled it out there on that one.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Diamondbacks. He loves to do things against the Diamondbacks, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go to our next contestant, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey there.
Welcome
Hey there.
in.
Second-time caller.
You're what? I'm sorry?
Also a second-time.
Oh, okay.
Well,
All right. I love
again,
it. We're getting a run of the second timers.
And guess what, Mike? You're also not going to get the second question for free. So, but we appreciate you telling us.
All right, Mike. Here we go. Question number 1. Aaron Judge played college baseball at what Mountain West school?
I know this. Fresno State.
There you go.
Got it.
Nice
You came up with
job.
it. Good job, Mike. Yep, Fresno State played right out here at the old Tony Gwynn Stadium, and I remember some people went and saw him and said he didn't look anything special to them. But that's funny.
That's the crazy part
Right.
is that there is a future Major League Baseball superstar.
He was just crushing the ball. Yeah. But,
All right, Mike. Question number 2. What team did Shaq start his NBA career with?
Start his career. He finished with every other team.
Yes, he did.
Orlando Magic.
That is
Magic.
correct.
Yeah, he and Penny were going to be the the champion team forever and ever. It never worked out.
The first time I think I remember something about Shaq was when he brought the hoop down. I thought that was the coolest thing in the
That
world.
was your first
as a
Shaq
kid.
memory?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was
Uh-huh.
amazing. All right, we're on to question number 3 for the second time today. What 2 NFL teams were involved in the Fail Mary game?
Fail Mary. We're talking about the Fail Mary the other day because replacement officials could be on their way again this year.
Yep.
You remember the Fail Mary?
The Packers.
Oh, you got it,
nice
Mike.
job.
Well done. Nicely
Stay
done.
there, Mike.
Very good, Mike. Stay on the line. You are the winner of Chris vs. the Fans today. It's the Fail Mary game where they threw the desperation pass. I think the Seahawks threw it. It was either caught or intercepted, depending on which referee you looked at.
It really was.
One guy went like this for touchback because it was intercepted. The other guy put his hands up for touchdown, and the two of them looked at each other
and said, "We have no idea.
We had a problem." They ended up ruling in favor of the touchdown, and the Seahawks won.
I can't show the play,
Don't
but let's
recall
listen to it.
Oh, you got the sound for
it? Is the Seahawks. Russell Wilson's the quarterback. Golden Tate's the one who's the receiver.
What do you have? Let's hear it.
Rice is 6'4". Moore is 6'6". They're all to the right. Tate's the lone receiver to the left.
4th and 10.
The Packers playing at the goal line. As Wilson scrambles to keep it alive. The game's final play is a Wilson lob to the end zone, which is fought for by Tate with Jennings simultaneous. Who has it? Who they give it to? Touchdown!
And then the Packers are all like, no, that's ours. That's ours.
Mike Tirico thought it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, he was right, as it turned out, but the Packers will never agree with that. So
no, they will not.
One of the great moments in football history. And you know what? We're going to be headed for it again. I cannot believe that the NFL is going to allow us to have to watch replacement officials in a league that already has credibility problems.
And has a jillions of dollars.
Right, at stake.
I know you don't, you can't just be a referee and be like, I want this or else.
It is so tough to referee football. My heart goes out. I know a lot of high school referees in town and guys who do this. It's so tough to do. You need the experience. You need to be out there to watch this stuff over and over and over again. We can sit at home, but we get replay. They don't. They do an incredible job.
These guys are the best athletes in the world.
You know, and you know what the second best athletes are in the world? 70-year-old field judges who run down the sideline with their arms raised. They're riding right next to Jerry Rice. It's like the same speed. I don't know how those guys do it, but
sign them up.
Yeah, they've got to do something with. They can't let replacement officials in again. It's the league already has an issue with that.
It does.
I mean, we finally stopped calling unnecessary roughness every time Patrick Mahomes goes down on the turf. We're making strides, but we can't do this kind of thing.
See, can you imagine a referee seeing a hit and not throwing a flag, and then the NFL being like, what are you doing? You're not protecting our product.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. We got the countdown, or are you going to do
We're going to do Big Five at 4:40, countdown 5:40.
All right. The countdown's going to be really epic today, I feel. Speaking of epic, hope everybody got a chance to hear our first epic Padre Roundtable yesterday. It's back every Thursday. So if you did miss it this week.
That was fun yesterday.
9 a.m. Next Thursday, the Epic Roundtable, brought to you by Epic Wings, I might add. It was delicious yesterday. All right, so get to Mike on the – was it Mike on the win?
It was Mike.
Good job, Mike. Well done on that. More Gwynn and Chris ahead after we get a little traffic.
From the
Yankees. Oh, boy. So happy about that. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 4:20 is the time. Crisello, Scraby together here on 97.3 The Fan. Coming up, our Big Five. Big news of the day, along with the Padres falling to the Bo Sox 5-2. Big news in baseball anyway. Yankees roll again. Beat the Marlins 8-2 today. Yankees are 6-1. Here's how many runs the Yankees have given up starting with the first game of the season. 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 3, 2. That'll work.
That'll do, donkey.
Even the Padres, power free lineup could win a few games with that kind of.
No, I don't. Well, let's not go too far.
I know. What was I going to call the Padres with a squirt gun offense? God, we can't do anything. 4 big hits today for the Friars. That's it. None of them by anybody in the top 5 in the order. Congrats to Messrs. Tatis, Bogarts, Merrill, Machado, and Laureano for a fine 0 for 19 performance today.
I can't lump Laureano there.
He did go 0 for 4 today. But,
he did,
so
but,
he was
but
lumped
he's
in
the
there
only
today.
one who's been carrying this offense at all.
Don't disagree. Back to the Yankees for a minute. Aaron Judge hit number 3 today. Stole his first base of the year. So Judge is, by the way, Judge's average, what do you think it is? Aaron Judge, best player in baseball.
He usually has a high average. I'll say like 500 or something.
Yeah, how about 185?
Ooh,
for Aaron
I
Judge.
was way wrong.
Yeah, he's hitting a $185. So, the Padres aren't alone, but Judge does have 3 home runs and 6 ribbies. So that's something.
That is something.
Which is what a lot of the Padres can't do. Also today, the Phillies 10-1 over the Rocks. Rockies return home. And the Phillies greet them with 7 runs in the first inning at Coors Field. Yeah, welcome to it. Schwarber hit one. Schwarber shouldn't be able to bat in Coors Field. That's just not fair. That's like you and I playing wiffle ball in a phone booth.
Yeah.
We're
gonna crush that wiffle ball.
Yeah, except in a phone booth you can't swing. But you know what I'm referring to.
I wasn't gonna analyze.
Yeah. So I mentioned that one because the Rockies will fall to 2-5. Padres do have company in the NL West cellar right now. Dodgers over Washington, 13-6. Ohtani hit his first of the year today. Thank goodness for that. Kyle Tucker hit his first as a Dodger today. And pretty much everybody else on the Dodgers homered in that game too. Miles Michaelis allowed 11 earnies today.
Ernie's.
You know what an Ernie is?
An earned run?
Yeah, that'll hold that'll hold the ERA up for a while. You give up 11 like that.
It started so well too. And CJ Abrams hit a 3-run shot to put them on the board first.
Yeah,
didn't matter.
It's a long game. White Sox got a win today. They go to 2-5. White Sox seem to be improving a little bit. The Jays back-to-back series against the Rockies and the White Sox, and they've lost 3 out of 4.
Yeah, you want to talk about a
World
bit
Series
panic?
champs?
Yeah.
They're 4-3 overall, though, so that's not Panicville.
Not yet.
2-5 is Panicville.
Yes, it is.
Which is where we are right now. Does anybody have just one loss now? Oh, the Athletics. They're 1-5, despite the exciting. Exploits of Shea Langeliers.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only guy scoring any runs for them. So
evidently, he's got 5 HRs already. And speaking of, we're going to do a bunch of weird stats later in the program for our countdown. Chase DeLauder hit his 5th.
He did.
Wow, he keeps going. But I think stranger than that is the Major League RBI leader, the one and only Liam Hicks.
Still doing his thing, huh?
He's got 12 RBIs. He plays for
White Sox?
Nope.
Who?
Yeah, I'll give you 3 guesses. Liam Hicks, the Major League RBI leader.
The Marlins?
Got it. He's got 12 RBIs.
Trying to think
good
of teams that
for,
have scored.
Good for Liam. I'm proud of anybody named Liam who makes it to the major leags. I think
yeah?
That's a good thing. Final four?
Wait, why? Why are you proud of guys?
I don't know. Liam doesn't seem like much of a baseball name.
The first one
with
came
all
to
due
mind was
respect
Liam
to
Hendricks.
everybody named Liam out there. But yeah, Liam Hendricks was in the big leagues. That's two. You got two of them.
Liam
Pretty
Neeson
good.
was not in the big leagues.
Liam Neeson. UConn and South Carolina, Final Four game underway. Late first quarter, UConn 38-0, going for their 55th win in a row, I believe. They lead South Carolina 15-12. That should be a really good game. UConn's got 54 wins in a row right now. I don't even think they're halfway to their all-time record. UConn is
that's why
ridiculously good. And you think it's bad for women's basketball?
I do. At this point, like, it was cool in the beginning when UConn women were winning and they couldn't be beat, and it was bringing a lot of eyes to the sport. But now it's just like, all right, cool. What else are you gonna do?
The record is 111 wins in a row, by the way. It went from
that is insane.
Went from 2014 to 2017. Ended in the NCAA semifinals with a loss to Mississippi State.
You can't be the team that ends that streak.
Mississippi State ended it in 2017. I would be a little less excited about what UConn women have accomplished if it weren't for the fact that I think Gino Auriemma, although a lot of people think he's, kind of a... I mean, how else?
Is he a shady character?
No. Oh, God, no.
Oh, he's a genius.
I think so. I think he's a great coach. I think his teams play the right way. And every time I've ever heard him interviewed, all he wants is what's best for women's basketball. He's a bit of a hard guy to handle.
Yes, he is.
But he's successful. I don't expect him to be, any different than he is. But he came on the other day. He said, "Look, I mean, we got new. They're unpackaging new basketballs for these games, and we can't shoot. You're making our own game look bad." So he'll be critical when he needs to be. And if it wasn't for Gino Auriemma, a lot of the women teams would not even get what they get. He was the one. Remember when we did the story 2 years ago about the
weights?
Yeah, the weight room at the NCAA tournament for men as opposed to women.
It was like worse than a hotel.
It was a freaking joke. and it took people like Gino Auriemma to point it out, so the NCAA has to get with it.
And I do like that he at least is not just sticking up for his team. He's sticking up for everyone.
That's what I'm saying. So I appreciate Gino Auriemma. Although I do remember many, many, many years ago when they played the Aztecs here, we tried to get him on the show, and UConn got back to us and said, we'll give you the assistant coach. And my thought was,
I didn't want that.
This is Gino Auriemma. This is women's basketball. This is 10, 12, 14 years ago before UConn was UConn. I thought he's already that arrogant. Yes, he was. Not come on. And by the way, what did I say?
No.
I said no to the assistant coach.
Ooh.
That's right. Don't mess with me, man.
You want to produce the show? Because I'm too nice.
15-15 at the end of the first quarter. Dawn Staley trying to pull off the upset for South Carolina. Break time, Big Five next on Gwynn and Chris. until you get a hit.
That's your job now. Now that I know you're the mean producer,
4 hits today.
we could do this, Chris. You could be the mean cop. I could be the good cop. Let's work together.
5-2 Boston was the final. The Padres get shut out if it weren't for the sun, which that's true. I mean, the guy in center field couldn't see the fly ball, landed for a triple.
It did.
Padres ended up scoring 2 runs that inning that they would have not had scored.
Yep.
Had the ball been caught. Otherwise, the offense continues to be in a major slumber. Welcome back to Gwynn and Chris. 4:35 is the time. Check a little traffic. And then Scraby's got a big 5. I want to know what else is going on.
From the 855 Kent Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Allard.
Hitting those brakes on the northbound side of the 805 at the 15, all because of a collision. These delays, they go all the way back to Home Avenue. And then you're just loaded up on the northbound side of the 125 or right by the 8. And then in Oceanside, just stop and go on the southbound side of the 5 by the 78. I'm Sue Allard with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big 5 starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
And if you don't know, we're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios where we know how. Let's get into it. And you know what, Chris? I changed my number 5 question to something I saw in the chat in the break from great listener KG.
Okay.
So it's very simple. The question is, what is the Padres' strength right now?
They're really, I think one of the things they're doing quite well so far, they hit first base, and then they're really good at making a quick right turn.
The 90-degree turn is
90-degree turn,
excellent.
they get to the dugout, they have excellent form. They're not very good at anything right now.
I know.
I know what you want me to say. Jake made a hell of a play.
Yeah.
Campy made a great, they had 2 beautiful double plays today.
They did.
That's not all I can recommend, though.
I would say their infield defense has been pretty good this year.
Okay.
Their outfield has struggled with some communication. Nick Castellanos.
Unfortunately, it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't because
until they can hit.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. I mean, you got 2 lefties coming up here. A rookie tomorrow, Connor Early, I believe his name is.
Connolly Early. And then Sunday you get a real tough customer, Ranger Suarez. But I don't really care who's pitching now. You got to find a way to do something. By the way, Frank told me it was Ron Hair Suarez, and I don't know if that was an April Fool's joke.
Sounds like one. I've never heard that.
He was dead serious. I've never heard it either, but he was dead serious about it.
Yeah, I've never heard that one. So.
The Padres, it's 7 games, Padres strength. There are some bright spots there, but until they get some guys on base and hit. I told you, the infield's defense.
Laureano hit a couple
Some
home
ABS
runs.
challenges have gone their way.
Yeah, but one they didn't take today may have cost them the game.
All right. I was trying to find some positivity. George on the chat has one. Mason Miller. He's been pretty good.
Yeah, he's not going to have too many.
He's saved the 2 games he's had an opportunity to.
He may save 60 this year, and that may be all we win at this rate.
Oh.
Hit the ball!
Number 4.
All right, I think this is going to anger you, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Alabama basketball guard Aiden Holloway had his suspension from the University of Alabama reversed after a hearing with the University of Alabama Office of Student Conduct. His attorney told AL.com Holloway can return to class, but he remains suspended from the basketball team. The university hearing took place on March 26th, and his spokesperson said it's not up to him, but if given the opportunity, he would like to play basketball for the school next year. This comes after Holloway was indicted on both felony drug charges he faces, and that happened yesterday. Grand jurors vote to indict if they determine there is probable cause to believe a crime was committed. I'm up first.
Okay. What's the question?
Do you think he will be playing for Alabama next year? My answer is he might. If they were still in the tournament, he may return for this year. Yes,
might be playing tomorrow.
He's going to play.
If Nate Oates could get him in.
You get him in front of an Alabama Tuscaloosa judge, he's in the clear.
Can somebody explain to me what the people,
they're saying?
Why are they letting him back into school based on what? That he didn't have 2 pounds of marijuana he was selling to people?
The hearing, what was said in the hearing was not released from what I saw earlier. And I'm assuming it's because he has not been charged with these that they can't take away his ability to go to school.
Why are they not charging him? What are they waiting for?
But I mean, I guess they have charged him, but they haven't. The grand jury needs to indict him. They need to see if there's enough evidence to bring it to trial.
Well, I believe Nate Oates' requirements are even softer than that. So
they really are.
My guess would be that until the jail cell slams behind this kid, Nate Oates will find a way to get him on there or try to get him on
there was
the
a
course.
lot of weed in this guy's
It was
residence.
2 pounds, and
that's a lot.
So the only thing they're waiting for is what, to confirm that he's trying to sell it, or do you even need that?
Yeah, you probably need that but in Alabama they have harsher laws on this stuff. So I don't really understand.
Not if you get an Alabama judge ruling on an Alabama athlete.
And if you're a Trinidad Chambliss, get an Ole Miss judge.
They basically have no laws against Alabama athletes when it comes to Alabama judges.
Yeah, I want to follow this story, but
it's all very messy.
It
really truly is. And you know what, Nate Oates, even if you're trying to do the right thing, we just don't ever believe you are trying to do the right thing, because your record speaks for itself. Everyone in college basketball knows it.
Yeah.
And when stuff like this happens, they go, well, that's what you expect from Nate Oates. Yeah, it's nice to be known for that.
It's sad.
Yeah, I think it is.
I mean, if this guy did something and they can prove it and he's going to be convicted of it, they're doing him no justice.
They're not doing him any favors by letting him come back.
Yeah. All right.
Number 4.
Wait, we already just did that.
Number 3.
UConn head coach Dan Hurley had a surprising response to criticism surrounding the way he acts on the sideline. He said
Dan.
in a press conference, quote, "I'm not a victim. I've done everything. I did what I did.
Yeah.
We don't allow victims in our program, and I'm not a 53-year-old man sitting up here like I'm some victim. I don't want to waste a lot of time with it because it takes away from the team," end quote.
Okay.
Does his owning of this absolve him of his behavior?
What do you think? Because I'm going to just ask you, just based on this. If somebody walks down the street and, I don't know, punches somebody in the face, but then walks over and says, I did it, still doesn't make it okay.
No,
so I don't think what he's doing, I think I get this is a slightly different situation. Most of the criticism of him is just being an absolute psychopath on the bench during a game. And his explanation is that it just means that much to him, and this is what, it's all about. But I think it means just as much to coaches who sit there and don't be psychopaths. They care just as much as he does. So the fact that he jumps around doesn't make him care anymore. So yeah, I'm glad he's acknowledged it, but no, it's not gonna get me off his case.
I'm with you.
I think he's got to grow up a little bit. I mean, if nothing else, if you want to take everything else out, one thing that Dan Hurley should be told by somebody somewhere is that he's taking away from the focus of his kids.
That's what he said in his quote. So he was like,
so many UConn games now are focused on him rather than where it should be, which is on these, I'm going to say student athletes, so I'm a laugher. But, these kids, they're out there playing, and Dan Hurley's getting all the attention. So, yeah, no.
I'm with you.
He's not off the hook yet.
Just because you acknowledge that you're a jerk doesn't mean you can be a jerk. I'm not saying that about
But also,
Dan
let
Hurley.
me also say, when you'd agree, because he's how he is, I'll tune in to watch the game. So, it's kind of that old, driving slow, going past a car accident thing. You know, you can say you're not going to do it or you're not going to support it, but in a lot of ways you're kind of supporting it because you're tuning in to watch it. Like him versus Mick Cronin, you wouldn't have missed that game for anything.
No, but the forehead to forehead with the referee is what really took me to the other side.
I thought that was just honestly in response to a ridiculous moment in history.
He said he thought the ref was going to chest bump him, but what ref is going to chest bump him?
Not too many refs are going to chest bump you, but to me, that moment
is so strange.
To me, that moment just wins out. You don't know how you're gonna act in that moment. Nobody does.
Yeah.
So I gave it a pass.
All right.
A lot of people aren't. People are still like, oh, he should have been teed up.
He should have. He touched the referee.
Yeah, the referee. They both touched each other.
If Dan Hurley ran over and put his forehead on your forehead, you would be like, "What are you doing?"
If I gave him a T in that situation, I should also fire myself from my job.
Number 2.
There's one way to keep 49ers fans from taking over SoFi Stadium during a quote-unquote road game against the Rams. Move it to Australia, Chris. In a joint interview with Packers coach Matt LaFleur, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said he knows, quote, for a fact that the Rams have pushed to have their home game against the Niners be the game that was sent to Australia. LaFleur said, I'm pretty sure the Rams lobbied for that game. Shanahan said, I know for a fact they did. That's what's so bothersome. Chris, or I guess I'm up first.
Okay.
If true, is this smart for the Rams? I'll say it's smart for the Rams.
So what you're saying is that the Rams wanted this game in Australia because they don't want everybody rooting for the 49ers that comes to SoFi.
They call it SoFi South.
Yeah, well, the problem that
I see... Levi South, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, the problem I see with this is that the Rams are going to have to move every one of their games because I think visiting fans outnumber Ram and Charger fans at most SoFi games.
It is true, but the 49ers do... When I've been there, it's a lot of red. But okay. I get what you're saying. A lot of people from other teams do come and watch those games. I think it's cute, though, that they're so intimidated that they have to move it to Australia. That's very, very special. So, Chris, what do you think about this? Is this smart for the Rams?
No, it's not. I think, honestly, playing these games in Australia should not be something that anybody really wants to do.
I don't think they do.
I don't. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to say it's. I don't believe that they begged for it the way they're trying to insinuate.
Oh, once they knew they were going, though, I bet you.
Right. Once they knew they were going, you might as well make it your home game, whatever. But I don't. A home game is always going to be infinitely better than going to San Francisco for a game. Isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to fly. You can stay.
You're not going to. Yeah, you're not going to convince me on this one.
Number 1.
Sorry.
No, I'm just going to say, Rams. I don't think this is smart.
Okay. Royals player Carter Jensen was scratched from the lineup yesterday after he overslept.
Yeah.
What's the Royals manager's name, Chris?
Oh boy, you got me. That should be a 2-point question. I don't know that guy's name.
The only reason I know
I've seen him a couple times, but yeah, I don't know it.
His name is Matt Quatraro.
Yeah, there you go.
Said that
it might be Quattaro, but
Quattaro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, I didn't know that before today. He also confirmed it was oversleeping, and he said that they decided to scratch him, but he's a hard worker, and we're going to move forward from this. My first question, there's 2 questions.
Okay.
First question is, would they have scratched Bobby Witt Jr.? Answer is no.
You don't think so?
Not.
Yeah,
I do not. You think they would scratch Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yeah, I think it gets. Yeah, they're putting him in the 4th inning, maybe. But
okay,
I think you've got to.
All right.
Unless you want to lose the clubhouse, you got to scratch Michael Jordan if he shows up late to the game. You've got to. The team. There has to be at least an appearance that the team is ahead of any one individual.
Yeah. My real question, though, is what's the worst thing you've ever overslept for? And I have one on the top of my mind if you want me to go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I overslept for one time a morning show. And it was a big day for the morning show, and this was at a different station. And I needed to be there at like 4 a.m. And my alarm went off. I guess I didn't hear it, but I woke up with light in my room. And if you work in a morning show, you never wake up to the sun.
Yeah.
And
it's a bad sign.
It was like the heart drop thing. So I checked my phone. Of course, I have about 25 missed calls from my boss. Guess what had to happen, Chris? They couldn't start the show until I got there because no one was there. So I ruined an entire day because I overslept. And now I have 6 alarms set on my phone.
Right now you do?
I do. Just in case. I get really nervous about it. What about you? What's the worst thing you ever overslept for? Do you oversleep for your wedding? I've heard some people do that.
My wedding was at 6 p.m. That would have been bad.
Maybe you're taking a nap.
Yeah. No, I did not oversleep for my wedding. There's something on this list, and it's not coming to my mind.
Okay.
I missed a morning show.
Missed a flight?
I missed a morning show with Ben Higgins one day, and he missed one too. Like it was so early it didn't even register because it's like 4 a.m. we're supposed to be there. So we missed that. Yeah, it was embarrassing last year, or was it last year or the year before when I overslept the round table and I came running in in the middle of the round table?
Oh, yes. Okay, there it is.
That was bad. But
that was yeah, I remember you running in.
I didn't enjoy that.
It's the worst when you don't.
It's not a great feeling for anybody. I mean, but oversleeping's a thing in the world. I think now that we have our phones and they're with us and you can set an alarm on it, should be much tougher to oversleep something now.
Yeah.
I did miss one bus to the airport when I was doing the Gulls, and I had to take a taxi, I think, to the airport to make a flight. I don't think anything terrible, though.
Okay.
I'm pretty crazy
good for you, honestly.
about that. Yeah, I don't like to. I mean, I see what you're going for here.
Andy says on the chat, put your alarm clock on the other side of the room. I did that when I was morning show. I had one in my bathroom so that when it would go off, I'd have to get up.
You really needed
I needed
to be up and so rolling over, you could turn it off and go back to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm beyond that. That doesn't happen with me anymore.
It hasn't happened in a long time, but yeah, definitely. I would turn the phone off, or I would just have one alarm on my phone and then I wouldn't wake up. But yeah, I put one in my bathroom as well.
Oh, wow. That's taking a lot of precautions.
Yeah, I didn't want to ever miss work.
Okay, evidently not.
I've never missed a flight, which is a good thing.
How many times have you dreamt that you overslept? Or even worse, I think this is one that even more people will identify with. When you're running late to something in your dream and you can't get there.
All the time, Chris.
Yeah. You know that
all
one?
The time. Yes. Yeah. You're giving me anxiety thinking about it.
You know it's there, but something keeps happening to throw you off the track. You just can't get where you need to go.
You know, there's a dream. There's something, the dream definition about that.
I'm sure that somebody has it figured out in that, that it means something, but it doesn't mean anything to me. So I don't believe in that stuff too much.
It says it reflects feelings of frustration, anxiety, or being stuck in life, powerlessness.
Yeah, you know what that is? That's like reading a well, I don't want to.
Yeah, don't because I believe in the dream meanings.
You believe? Do you believe?
I believe that
your horoscope too.
No, God, no.
The horoscope is so general. Of course, it comes true.
I'm not a horoscope guy.
I mean, you're going to walk around today and you might see something that intrigues you. Really? I didn't need to read a horoscope to tell me that.
I will say
I'm
that
not a horoscope guy.
I'm not a horoscope guy either, but I do believe your dreams come from something in your subconscious. So if you're feeling some sort of stress, you're going to have these types of dreams.
Well, there has to be something that you can base on your real life occurrences, or it wouldn't be in your dream, right?
Yes.
But yeah, this whole notion that you need to get somewhere and you can't make it, I just think that is what it is. Because we all do it. Yeah. So do we all have the same issues of...
Yeah, I think everybody feels in that moment, they might have some stress and anxiety in their life, frustration.
You're giving me some now.
Why?
No, I don't know. UConn's ahead of South Carolina. It's 26-23. They're coming up on the end of the second quarter. So this is a very low-scoring game for both these teams. They both normally score in the 70s or 80s. It probably has something to do with the basketball, again, that Gino was talking about, where they can't, put it in the hoop. Anyway, they're coming up on halftime. UCLA later against Texas. Tomorrow, who do you like, Scraby? Do you have any care? I mean, Illinois or... UConn or Arizona or Michigan? Does any of it interest you?
Illinois.
You're going for the Illini.
I can't see Dan Hurley win another national championship, so I'll go with Illinois.
I think it's pretty easy to root against Dan Hurley.
Yeah.
I don't think it's easy to root against either Arizona or Michigan necessarily.
No. And my second choice, I guess, would be Arizona, just because they're closer.
Now, you know that if Arizona and Illinois win tomorrow, then no matter what happens on Monday, I win my wife's pool.
Oh, is that for sure?
That is for sure.
I did see something about this on social media. You guys talked about it yesterday.
We did.
Okay.
And people, I don't know. Again, do people think I'm cheating the system or not? Because wasn't my picks.
I don't think it matters.
Thank you, Scraby.
I don't think it matters. But you did get an assist.
What the plan is if I win this pool, you have to find Jay Billis. He's been on our show before.
I have texted him.
Well, in this case, hopefully he'd respond.
Yeah, I'll give him the
information.
I will.
26-24, low scoring. UConn leads at halftime in the women's Final Four. We're coming up on the happy hour. Stick around. And so it is that we join you for the happy hour. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. If you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's. That'll cheer you up tonight. Go out and grab some authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla, or dining, takeout options. Visit spiroscuisine.com. Crisello, Scraby, together on the post-game show.
Quite a lengthy post-game show today.
Yeah, a little lengthy today. 5-2 was the final, Boston over the Padres. We could give you all the details. It was 2-2 in the, sixth inning? And Michael King grooved a fastball, and Wilson Contreras hit it over the moon. And then after a base hit, I believe, and 2 outs in the inning, Wandy Peralta came in, and his first pitch was hit by San Diego's Marcelo Mayer over the right field fence. Fernando on that short fence there at Fenway in right field almost flipped over the fence trying to reach for that ball and didn't miss it by much.
No.
But he did. He couldn't get to it. And unfortunately, once that ball disappeared, the game disappeared. The way the Padres are hitting right now, they were not coming back from 3 runs down, and they didn't. They didn't even get another base runner after that until 2 outs in the 9th inning. The Padres' 2 runs came in the 5th, basically courtesy of a sun ball triple hit by Miguel Andujar that led to 2 runs that otherwise would not have scored. So Padre offense is completely inept at the moment. Team batting average has dropped down below the Mendoza line, and the top 5 guys in the order today went 0 for 19. Anything else you want to know?
I would like to, you know
want
what?
More?
I forgot about the good section. I would like to shout out Kyle Hart for catching Fernando from falling over the wall.
All right. You may do that.
He was, just helping the team in that moment.
Okay. You may credit Kyle Hart with a save there. Otherwise,
I got nothing, Chris.
Yeah, there wasn't much to recommend. There was 2 beautiful double plays turned by the Padres. One was started by Luis Campusano on a little dribbler. But that wasn't anywhere near as what the one Jake did in the 5th inning. What unbelievable play by a guy who the analytics say cannot cover any ground.
Full extension
at second base and short hop it, reaching up above his head.
Behind the base.
Incredible play, and then got up, tagged second, and threw to first.
Yeah, when I heard that on the radio, because I was driving down here, I didn't realize it was a double play until I saw the play.
Yeah, he got both outs by himself. Did not need the shortstop involved. That was a great one by Jake. But alas, 5-2 was the final. The player of the year in college basketball was announced today. It went to Boozer of Duke.
Caden?
No, the other one, Cameron, I believe.
Oh, there's 2 of them?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. Caden's the guard who threw the ball away.
Yeah.
And Cameron's the big center who dominates the game. They're brothers.
I feel like an idiot right now.
You are.
I don't know why.
You didn't know that, huh?
I guess I just never put it together.
Welcome to the world of college basketball.
That was something I wish I could take back because that was a dumb moment.
Fred Hoiberg was named the coach of the year. With all due respect, anybody that puts 4 guys on the court at the end of an Elite 8 game or a Sweet 16 game, puts 4 guys on the floor and loses because of that, should be eliminated from Coach of the Year consideration. I'm sorry. I just can't get past that.
I thought about you when I read this headline.
I'm glad, for him, the season Nebraska had was, special. But, there's got to be. I have certain stipulations. One of them is in coaching my team, I actually get 5 guys on the floor at all times.
Yeah, that would probably be the best thing for him. At that moment,
think. Yeah, it didn't work out too well.
People really want us to shout out Campy for his hit today. That was a good.
We did. We gave him a lot of love in the during the notes on the scorecard.
Yes,
and I said I could not have been happier. Double off the top of the wall there, and you said hopefully this will get him rolling. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
It had been a long time since he was in the hit column. Not that I was counting, but August 31st, 2024.
All of us were counting, Chris.
Yeah.
And more, I bet you. Do you think Campy knew that?
No.
Okay.
I pray he didn't know that, because if he knew that, he'd never be able to even hold the bat.
He would be like, oh, man.
Yeah, he'd been so
I haven't had
tight.
a hit in 2 years?
Yeah. That's about how long it had been. Big NBA story today, if you just tuned in, Luka Doncic for the Lakers left last night with the hamstring injury. He is out for the rest of the regular season. That doesn't sound great, but understand that the rest of the regular season is only till the end of next Friday. So it's not going to be long. The question, though, at the moment, which is a fair question, is will he be able to come back for the playoffs? They don't know that yet, and they just won't know, I don't think, until it's time.
Hamstrings are so weird.
He'll do everything he can do with this hamstring, but we saw Jackson Merrill sit out a long time last year with the hamstring.
Yep.
The Lakers have no chance to win in the playoffs without Luka. I don't think it takes genius to figure that out. By the way, Luka's, I believe, now out of the running to win any postseason awards.
Oh.
Got to play a certain amount of games. Anthony Edwards is now ineligible for postseason awards because he wasn't able to play last night with an illness.
So SGA is just gonna.
Looks like it's either SGA or Wemby, and unfortunately for Wemby, he doesn't get a vote because we already know Wemby's voted for Wemby.
Yes,
Wemby he told everybody
Wemby.
He's the best player.
And I was watching him the other night. He's
pretty crazy,
good.
but he's
pretty darn good.
He's a freak of nature, even in a league where everybody's already a freak of nature.
He's an unusually tall person who also has great coordination.
Pretty good coordination, yeah. No, he's something, but SGA is going to be hard to beat for that. All right, let's get back on the Padres a little bit. I don't have a lot more to say other than, these guys are getting paid. What did you say? A combined $97 million?
It's 90. I believe it's 93.
No,
96.6.
Right. And not rounded it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, rounded it up.
38% of their
40% of the team's salary is tied up in 4 players: Bogarts, Machado, Fernando, Merrill. They didn't do anything today. They really haven't done anything yet all season. I think the 4 of them have combined for exactly 1 home run. Manny doesn't have an RBI yet. Fernando has only 1 extra base hit. This is why they're losing. But I want to know what Craig Stammen thinks is why they're losing. And here's some of his press conference after the game today at Fenway Park.
Craig, what did you think of Michael? And was cruising, and then did you feel like he kind of was tiring in the 6th?
Yeah, he pitched pretty good today. Felt like the end of the 5th, couple hard hit balls, 6th inning, hard hit balls. Then we felt like we had a matchup that was better in our favor with Wandy against him. Ended up not being that, which is the case of baseball, but overall pitched really well.
Do you think Fernando had that one?
I actually thought he did catch it for a second, but we were pretty far away. I don't know I didn't look at the replay, so I don't know how close or how far it was.
We talked a little bit before the game about the offense, kind of some of the hard hit balls. What do you make of have you seen any pressing out of this group to kind of get to where I think they know or feel like they should be at this point?
Yeah, I'm sure that's natural for every hitter to, hit line drives and then not get a hit, and then look at your average on the scoreboard and then want to press a little bit and think, I got to make sure I get a hit here. But, we got to keep preaching to them that, they're swinging well, they're hitting the ball hard, and that eventually they're going to fall.
What do you think of Gray, another guy who made it into the 6th against you guys?
Yeah.
In the 6th.
Yeah, he pitched good. He's a veteran pitcher. It's not like he hadn't done that before. He got us today. I thought we got to him a little bit there in the 5th. Took advantage of the sun ball. Gavin had a nice at bat, driving him in. And then Campy had a great at bat. It's good to see Campy make a really good swing there, hit one hard and off the wall. So felt like we had him close, and then we just let him get through the 6th there.
You mentioned it. I mean, you knew it would come. He was going to get a hit at some point. But how nice was that to see for him and for you guys, for Campy?
Yeah, it's great. One of those guys to talk about like pressing maybe a little bit. He hadn't got a hit since 2024, I think. So it was good to see what we know he can do. And, hit a ball like that against any pitcher. He did a great job.
Your view on the Cronenworth double play?
Yeah, that was amazing. What a play. That inning was getting a little to the point where, they hit the ball, they were on base, hit the ball hard again, and we made a great play and got out of it. And you're thinking that ball gets through, it's 1st and 2nd or 1st and 3rd and 1 out. So, just at the time, maybe a game-saving play. But Jake's been doing that a lot this year. It's pretty fun to see him at second base doing that.
Incredible play by Jake again. Disappointed they lost, but that's going to show up like on the end of the season highlight reel. That's how good of a double play that was. That he turned today. I'm going to agree with almost everything Craig Stammen said there. Probably 90% of it. Here's the percent I'm not going to agree with. When he said we're hitting the ball hard and we're not getting a lot of results and we just got to keep hitting the ball hard. I'm not really seeing him hit the ball hard. I'll be honest with you. Are you? I mean, I'm seeing a couple of loud outs, but not many of them, Scrabe. I'd be honest with you. I'd say if I'm seeing it, I'd say it. I'm not seeing it.
I saw it in the first series. Saw it on Wednesday.
Some loud hits,
but
loud
I didn't see what you're. Let me look at their exit velocities today because
you can look at that. I saw one line drive to left center by Laureano that was caught. I don't recall anything else that was the one to Bogarts hit to the bottom of the green monster was well hit. That's 2 of the 27 outs. I don't remember anything else. Knocking my socks off.
I will say, I mean,
so to me, they're not hitting at all, and they're just not hitting. That's it.
And Duhart 96. Yeah, I think Craig Stammen may have been falling back on that one a little bit too much.
All right, Gwynn and Chris continues. We have our countdown coming up at the bottom of the hour. Today's countdown, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go over some of the quirkiest records and quirkiest. What do you want to say? Just factoids in Major League Baseball history, and baseball lends itself to this kind of stuff. We'll tell you what we mean. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour. Happy hour rolls on. We'll check some traffic on Gwynn and Chris. All right, 5:19 is the time. Gino Auriemma, the great head coach at UConn, may have, one of those things that the old self-fulfilling prophecy thing, Scrape?
Yes.
One of the things he was really upset about in the NCAA tournament was the fact that they are using new balls in this, Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. And he's
I've seen this.
Yeah, and he's like, what are we doing? He goes, the kids can't shoot these. They're not used to them. Nobody uses new balls, in any level of basketball. And he's not wrong. It's not like baseball where you unpackage a new ball and you roll it out there and you start the game.
Even then they don't do that.
Right. You want the ball broken in, et cetera. And he was really critical of it. And he said, man, the shooting is terrible. The percentages are horrible. And it's making our own game look bad. Well, it's making UConn look bad tonight. They're 1 of 11 on threes. And they've fallen 8 points behind South Carolina. This could be a really huge upset. Now, South Carolina's a great team, but still, UConn, 54 wins in a row.
I've always found this really lame that he's complaining about this.
You think it's lame that he's complaining, or lame that he has to complain because he's trying to?
I think blaming the ball for something is weird.
Yes, but I think he's right, honestly. And
I'm not saying he's wrong. I don't know.
He's right. Well, okay. So then don't say he's lame, because you don't. A broken in basketball just has a better feel, and it's not as bouncy. It might hit the rim and roll in. A new ball just boing. It's like trying to shoot a Super Bowl. It just you can't control it.
Boing.
Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, UConn is in some trouble here. 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're trailing 36-28 in this national semifinal. All right, earlier today, A.J. Preller. Boy, doesn't everybody out there love him right now? It's got to be his fault, Scrabe. They're 2-5.
Well, he did sign a bunch of guys that can't hit.
The hell's he doing? Yeah, but he was on with Ben and Woods, and it was the management report presented by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better. And Ben and Woods put his feet to the fire. Here's what AJ had to say in response to
what does he like most about
what does he like
so
most?
Far?
Okay, this probably had to search for.
I think again, like you see the way Pavetta bounced back from opening day and threw the ball well. I think Pavetta, King putting up zeros. I think he'll be the first to tell you want to be crispier with his command. He'll get another shot here today. The development of Randy Vasquez. I think we saw that at the end of last season, and then into spring training where sometimes spring training you're trying to evaluate such a different just a different environment, and you're kind of like, all right, what does it all mean? But for him to then take the spring he had stuff wise, command wise, and bring it to the first start, I think those guys are going to have to pitch well in terms of giving us the ability to go out and get off to good starts from a starting pitching standpoint. Bullpen should be very good. We had a little hiccup there one night against Detroit, but I think you're starting to see a pen that can be very dominant again. And then offensively, we've got to score more runs. We've got to put more pressure on the other team. You see the Laureano, that just continues to swing the bat well, and really since the trade last year, so that's good to see. And again, I don't think Manny and Toddy and Jackson and those guys, they've got a lot of hits coming to them this year. So you go 2-4, not what we're looking for. We want to play better, but ultimately, it wasn't like those guys went out and were on their A game, and we went 2-4. Those guys have got a lot of good baseball coming forward, and again, that's now we go on this first road trip, and we'll get a better sense here too, and some tough places to play about where we're at.
Hopefully we're not putting too much better sense into what happened today. That was AJ before the game today.
Yes.
Tatis and Merrill and Manny, the three guys he spoke of, are the same three I've been speaking of. They went 0 for 11 combined today. The three of them together are hitting .203 with just one home run in 86 plate appearances. Manny doesn't have an RBI yet through 7 games. He did go 14 games last year in one stretch.
Without an RBI?
Without an RBI.
Weren't you counting his home run? He needed his first home run as well last year.
It seems like every year he gets off to this kind of start, and we say, that's it, man. He's swinging like a rusty gate, and, it's
done.
over. And at the end, he's got 28.95. But right now, yeah, it wouldn't
hit a couple, please.
It wouldn't hurt if he started, in on that 28.95 like tomorrow. We can use some balls hit hard.
He's a procrastinator like me.
Yeah, well, it's funny, but it's not funny.
It's not funny. We're laughing to avoid the pain.
Right. It only laughs. It only hurts when you laugh.
I will say this: every time someone says it's baseball, look at the back of the baseball card. That is the truth. It's just so hard to see right now. It's just so hard to see how these guys are going to turn it around. I know they will. You know they will. It's just a continuation of last year. That's what my problem is.
It's a continuation of the playoff series against the Cubs. They did not hit in that series.
Fair.
All right. A couple of other notes from the world of sports here today. If you just tuned in, I think we've given you pretty much everything. There was one story that came down that I think we could spend a little time with, Scrabe.
Chiefs?
Yeah, the headline is that the Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is not going to be get any discipline from the NFL. The quote from the NFL was, after their investigation, he is not engaged in conduct that violates the personal conduct policy. This despite the fact that he's already been through 4 or 5 situations. And the latest was somebody accusing him of beating his girlfriend. The girl
she
did.
Accused him.
Right, beating her. So I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if they can prove it, and maybe that's why they can't do anything to him. But I think you'll agree with me, Scraby, when I tell you that Rashee Rice needs a come-to-Jesus moment, and letting him go back and play without any discipline at all is not necessarily what he needs. I think he's probably happy. I know his lawyer's happy, and all the people around Rashee Rice are happy because he's going to, not serve any discipline from the NFL. I don't know where everything is with the court system, but he needs to be more than slapped on the wrist, I think, to get this guy's attention. That's my own view from outside the story a little.
I agree with that. Trey Wingo had something pretty interesting on Twitter about this. He said, to me, the key phrase here is, quote, at this time, Rice is not going to be disciplined by the league, which determined that there was insufficient evidence. So it leaves it open.
Yeah.
If something does come to light.
Right. Speaking of another player named Ray Rice, and they're not related, but way back in the day, the NFL gave very little discipline to him. I think it was a 2-game thing, and everybody you guys are slapping him on the wrist. And then the video came out, and then the NFL had egg all over its face.
Yeah.
So the NFL this time is, I think what they're trying to say is, if anything comes out, we reserve the right to, do more with this. I'm not even looking at it from that point. I'm not out for Rashee Rice being suspended for any amount of time. What I am for is Rashee Rice's life being, somebody caring about this guy's, behavior, because it's not great.
Well,
and it's more than one incident. Well, but I'm saying maybe what would get him to care would be something, a little spare the rod.
Spanking?
Yeah, spare the rod, spoil the child type of thing.
I've never heard that.
Never heard that one.
No, spare the rod, spoil the child?
Yeah, I guess they used to hit people with rods. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think so, but that's the saying.
Yeah, I just don't like how when there's smoke, there's fire. So I'm not saying he's guilty of this thing, but
I have no idea whether he's guilty of this. I know he's already been guilty of 3 or 4 really bad decisions.
Yes.
So it leads me to believe that this could be another one.
Before we get into the countdown, did you see the Tiger Woods video?
Yeah.
The body cam video?
Yeah, where he's on a knee, and
it's very sad.
You think so? There's some people that are saying, he didn't really look all that in that bad a condition.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, nothing compared to what he looked like several years ago when he was wandering around and couldn't even barely stand up.
That's true, but he's not understanding, like, sometimes simple commands. He's falling asleep in the back of the police car. He's talking to himself. I think I saw, and this is just my opinion, and I hope I'm wrong, but I saw a guy who has a much bigger problem than we know about.
Well, I agree with that.
A much bigger
We've already
problem.
discussed it, you and I.
The video just confirmed it.
Well, he's going to get help. That's only half of it. The people around him have got to make sure that he follows through on whatever help he gets, because there's not too many other outcomes for Tiger Woods if he doesn't get his what
Stuff
together. Yeah, the only other outcome is he's gonna kill somebody or himself, and that is not where we want that to end.
I'm also not a big fan of his phone call to a certain person, and it's not because of the person. I'm just not a fan that the police allowed a phone call. And I'm also like,
I don't think they. What? I thought he made the phone call before anybody arrived. No?
They were the video I saw. They were like, "Hey, get back here!" And he goes, "Hey, I just got off the phone with the president." That's to me like someone saying, "Do you know who I am?"
You mean it was what, the president of
the United States?
I know,
Chris,
but you hadn't said so, and that people may not have known.
I'm more mad at the fact that he kind of did a "Do you know who I am?" to try and get out of this whole thing. I know I'm throwing out wild accusations.
Does Tiger Woods need to say, "Do you know who I am"? Tiger Woods. Everybody knows who he was.
Yeah, but if he drops something else, maybe it will help him.
I just think Tiger Woods needs a lot of help, and I'm not really worried about the incident. I'm worried about him going forward. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. Our countdown is going to be some fun today. Don't miss it.
Ben and Wood.
34-39 over UConn. Going to the fourth quarter, the Final Four matchup there. That'd be a big upset. South Carolina can do it. I don't know if it'd be as strange as some of the statistics we're about to share with you. Today's countdown is going to focus in on unbelievably strange but true happenings in the history of baseball. Coming up after traffic.
Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855-GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Aller.
Your main roadways are in really great shape. I'm not seeing any kind of slowdowns or delays on the 805. The 15 looks good. We are slow on the 5 in Oceanside both ways, right by the 78. And if you're traveling on Balboa Avenue eastbound at Convoy Street, you do have an accident in the left turning lane. Other than that, looking pretty good right now. I'm Sue Aller with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's now time for Gwynn and Chris to rank their top 5 of the day.
Gonna grip and rip as usual.
But this isn't just a regular top 5 list.
I love it. It sounds sadistic, but I love it.
This is the countdown. And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. There's some crazy things that happen statistically and otherwise in Major League Baseball. And I started in with this yesterday. One of the conversations Tony and I was having about something got me thinking, what are the craziest 5 baseball oddities we can think of? So Scraby and I came up with them, and we're going to share a bunch of them with you. Are you ready to go, sir?
Yes, but I would like to read the happy hour. Is brought to you by.
Go ahead.
Geo Pools. I was just making sure you haven't read it yet. Happy hour is brought to you by Geo Pools, the company trusted by thousands of San Diegans to keep their pools sparkling, swim ready, and expertly maintained. Call Geo Pools now and say radio for a free month of service. I think
you did tell me to read that when we came back, and I failed to do it.
No, it's okay. I just didn't want to repeat. But
yes,
yes,
all right, let's go.
I'm ready.
What's your number 5 strange baseball stat or number 5?
All right. My number 5 strange baseball stat is Stan Musial. I don't know much about him. I know he's a great baseball player.
Stan the man. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
The greatest, one of the great St. Louis Cardinal, one of the great left-handed hitters in the history of the sport.
But Stan Musial retired with the exact same amount of hits at home and on the road. He retired with 3,630 hits, 1,815 at home, 1,815 on the road. You couldn't try to do that if you set out to do that, or you couldn't accomplish that if you even set out to do it.
Do you think Carlton Fisk tried to do this? The Hall of Fame catcher hit 188 home runs at home and 188 on the road.
That's crazy too.
So those are similar. But
was that your number 5?
No.
Okay.
I'm just piggybacking on your number 5.
Gotcha.
Number 5 for me, I'm going to go with Warren Spahn. Warren Spahn's a Hall of Fame left-hander, pitched for the Milwaukee Braves, and mostly the Milwaukee Braves. He had 363 wins. He used to have the record for lefties for overall most wins. I don't think anybody's passed him. That I wasn't paying attention.
No, it's still him.
Yeah. Warren Spahn had 363 wins. Here's the crazy thing. In his long, spectacular career, he also had exactly 363 hits. He had 357 of those wins and hits as a Brave. He had 4 more wins and hits as a Met, and he finished up with 3 more hits and wins playing for the last team he played with, which was, let's see, I had it memorized and now I forgot.
So you're telling me
Braves, Mets, Giants.
So you're telling me this guy had exactly the same amount of hits as wins in each stop.
357 of each with Boston Braves, Milwaukee Braves, 4 of each with the Mets, 3 of each with the Giants. And just for fun, in the postseason, Warren Spahn had 4 wins. And guess what? 4 more hits.
That is insane.
That's hard to imagine.
It really is.
Warren
that is crazy.
Warren Spahn. I said Spain. Warren Spahn.
Number 4.
What do you got?
This one is one of my favorites of all.
All right. What is it?
And it is about a guy who, Chris Davis, hit 247, had a 247 batting average for 4 straight seasons. And I'm not talking about like the 25 at bats, 30 at bats. This guy had 3 of those 4 seasons with over 600 at bats.
Yeah.
The other one was over 400. Again, you couldn't try to do this if you set out for it. 247 in 4 straight years.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that is incredible.
That is.
Chris Davis, spelled Khris, by the
Correct.
way. He was a DH for the A's, mostly. There's no way anybody
this
could
blows
have
me away every time I see it.
You could never have the same batting average 4 years in a row, but he did.
Yeah.
Number 4 for me is one that if you were with us yesterday, I mentioned, but I still can't get over it. The all-time record for most grand slams hit in one season is 6. And that record is held by 2 players. One is Travis Hafner. We're not going to worry about him in this particular note. The other one is the great Don Mattingly, former manager for Tony Gwynn Jr.
Yeah.
Don Mattingly hit 6 grand slams as a Yankee in 1987. That's the all-time single-season record. Here's the rub. Don Mattingly never hit a grand slam before that or after that.
Wow, so that one season, he sets the record and never does it again.
He never did it again, and he had never done it before.
Wow. Do you know
Don
what
Mattingly,
season that was in his career?
Yes, it was the 6th season. So he had 5 years without one, then had 6, and then played 9 more years without one.
Wow.
That's
you
gotta
would
be a
think at
strange
least
one.
once in 9 years.
Got 6, all of them in the same season.
That
Don
is
Mattingly,
crazy.
that's a crazy
I think Tony calls him Don Money.
No, Donnie Baseball.
Donnie Baseball, that's it.
Donnie
I don't know,
Baseball.
where did I get Don Money from?
Don Money's an old infielder that Tony played with as well.
Oh, all right. Well, at least I'm somewhere close to it.
A little bit.
My number 3, we're listing some our favorite crazy stats from baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Only 0.01% of batters Greg Maddux faced saw a 3-0 count. He faced 20,421 batters in his career. Only 310 of those batters saw a 3-0 count.
And I think some of those were on an intentional walk.
177 were intentional walks.
So you can take out half of the ones.
So basically 170 something.
Yeah, half of them were because he did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Back
only
in those
0.01%.
He had good control.
That is
Greg Maddux had great control. All right, let's go. My number 3 is going to be with one of Greg Maddox's teammates, Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. I didn't know this one. This is pretty weird. Tom Glavine's career started in 1987 at the age of 21 with the Atlanta Braves. Tom Glavine went 2-4 that year with a 5.54 ERA. Pretty nondescript season to begin his career. He then pitched for 21 years with the Braves and the Mets, and he won over 300 games. In 2008, Tom Glavine came back to the Braves at the age of 42. He finished his final season with a record of 2-4 and an ERA of 5.54. 22 years apart, he had the exact same stats.
Yeah. And again, ERA is one of those things you cannot really manipulate.
Not really. You can't manipulate, 2-4 with a 5.54.
You have to face the same amount of batters and the same amount of outs and
almost. Glavine, that's crazy, and I did not know that one.
That is crazy.
All
the
right.
Braves had a pretty good trio of pitchers.
Yeah, Smoltz was pretty good too. Yeah.
Number 2.
Now, this one is just crazy because of the feat that they reached.
Okay.
And they did it back to back. April 13th, 2009, Paul Konerko and Jermaine Dye each hit their 300th career home run back to back. It was the first and only time teammates hit the century milestone homers in the same game, let alone back to back. Both hit their 300th home run, and that home run was the second of the season. So that is crazy. That was a lot. That was a lot to take in. Both of them hit 300 home runs, but they hit them back to back.
Jermaine Dye went first, and Paul Konerko, after everybody celebrated Jermaine Dye's 300th home run, Paul Konerko came up and he hit his.
And everybody was like, "Oh, who cares about you? We already celebrated."
This is not one of my countdown, but BJ Upton and Justin Upton brothers, as you know.
Yes.
Both hit their 99th home run on the same day, career, different teams. Then, about a week and a half later, they both hit their 100th home run on the same day. That's almost
weird.
impossible.
It really is weird.
But so is this. And here's my number 2. The brothers Niekro. And if you've been listening to the show a long time, you probably heard this one before. But if you haven't, I think it's crazy. Phil Niekro, Joe Niekro. They both pitched over 20 years in the major leagues. They both won over 200 games. Phil actually won over 300. And so they're the winningest brother duo of all time. Phil's in the Hall of Fame. Joe was just short of a Hall of Fame status. Not really, Hall of Fame, but a really good pitcher. Joe Niekro was not a great hitter. And over 1,165 at-bats, over a 22-year career, Joe Niekro hit exactly 1 home run. Unbelievably, it came on May 29th, 1976 against Phil Niekro. That's crazy.
I love that.
And for people to say, well, Phil served him up, just gave him one.
Yeah, right. The brothers.
Well, that and the fact that Joe won the game 4-3. So that home run was the difference in the game. I doubt Phil served that up.
No, I mean, you wouldn't. You hold that over your brother's head forever.
Yeah, I had Phil Niekro on my show many years ago, and I asked him about it.
What did he say?
He says he's just always had to wear it. Like it was just one of those amazing things.
It's like, yeah, that is great. I love that. All right.
On to number one. What do you guys got? Someone beat that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people know about this one, but it's still incredible, and it has a little spot in our heart. But Tony Gwynn would have hit above 300 for his entire career, even if he went 0 for his last 1,183 at-bats. That's crazy.
He basically could have gone 0 for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
500 and some one year, 500 and some the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have still been over 300 for his career. That's how many hits he had.
That is a great one. Alongside that one, did you know Ichiro opened his career 3 for 10, which is 300, and then was never below 300 the rest of his career.
Oh, wow.
But Tony's is good. All right, here's the first one. This is not a statistic, but this is going to blow you away, I believe. I've heard the story before, but I totally had forgotten about it until today. This truly happened on August 17th, 1957. Philadelphia Phillies Hall of Fame outfielder Richie Ashburn was at the plate. Sitting in the stands behind the third base dugout was a lady by the name of Alice Roth. Her husband was named Earl Roth. He was the
Earl.
Yeah, old Earl. Earl was the sports editor of the Philadelphia Bulletin, which covered the games. Earl was up in the press box. His wife, Alice, was sitting down there behind the third base dugout with her 2 young grandsons. Richie Ashburn fouled off a pitch that struck poor Alice Roth.
Oh, no.
It broke her nose.
Oh, no.
And it caused bleeding. Medics rushed over to the scene. There was a big delay in the action because of the commotion here, right? They had to get Alice.
Like your wife in the gondola. There's a commotion.
There was a big commotion. Alice was, laid out. They put her on her stretcher and began carrying her off the field, out the tunnel as the game continued. The very next pitch, Richie Ashburn fouled off and hit her again on the stretcher as she was being carried out.
Oh, that is great.
There's no way that could happen.
And if it would be even better if it hit her in the nose. I'm sorry to say better. But
according to some accounts, they say the second one broke her leg or knee, but that is not official.
Confirmed?
The confirmed was the first one. Confirmed is that the second one hit her. According to this statistic here, the odds of a fan being hit by a foul ball are about 300,000 to 1. The odds of hitting the same person and twice in 2 consecutive pitches have to be a little higher than that.
That's I hate to laugh, but that is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Apparently, there's a little aftermath to this story, and it ends a little kind of happy. She was taken to the hospital for treatment. It took her a while to recover from all this stuff. She never sat close to the field again. But Richie Ashburn did visit her in the hospital, and they later became friends, and he used to send her birthday and Christmas cards until she passed in the 1980s.
Oh, that's nice.
So it ended up with a happy story.
I mean, that is crazy. That's like a comedy movie scene.
There's no way that could happen.
One time my friend was snowboarding. He fell and he broke his arm, and he was trying to get down the hill and he fell again and he broke his other arm. I'm not kidding.
Okay,
he broke both of his arms.
That's in the Richie Ashburn category, I would say.
With 2 casts.
I would say that's in the Richie Ashburn category.
We're like, what happened to you? He goes, broke one arm, broke the other arm.
Wow. That's bad luck right there.
That is really bad luck.
All right, we got a couple of minutes left. This women's Final Four game is, we're down to the last 5 minutes here. South Carolina's leading UConn by 7. So, again, we could be sitting in on a huge upset here if South Carolina can hang on. 51-44. UConn just hit a 3, though. So 51-47, still time remaining. UConn trying to extend a 54-game win streak there. Later tonight, UCLA taking on Texas in the other women's semifinal. Tomorrow should be a lot of fun with Illinois and UConn. I said this to Tony yesterday. I like Illinois. They're really good, and I mean really good. And I actually think they're better than UConn, just a little bit better. But they're going to have to beat UConn, and then after they beat them, they're going to have to drive a stake through their heart to keep them beat.
Oh, yeah.
That's how good UConn is when it comes to finding a way to win these games.
Yeah.
And Duke found that out.
Yes, they did.
So we'll see what Illinois does tomorrow. I think it's going to be really difficult for them to put UConn away and win. But I agree with you. If Dan Hurley wins another one, then you can't even be critical of him ever again. He's the greatest coach in history if he wins again with this. In this era, to win 3 out of 4?
He might be a lunatic, but he probably really fires up his team in the right ways.
Well, the one thing he did well in the game last week against Duke is he kept his team believing. I mean, they were down the whole game. There was no way they could win that game. He didn't let them believe that. He made them, found a way to keep them playing, and Duke opened the door a little bit. They took advantage. Second game should just be a whole lot of fun. Arizona and Michigan. Coin flip there. We'll see who comes out on top.
All right.
And then we'll be back. We're here Monday, so we'll be able to preview the national championship game.
Okay.
But we won't be on very long Monday because it's before Padre-Pirate baseball Monday. God forbid the Padres shouldn't maybe win a couple here in Boston before we come back.
Please.
Help us. Help us. Help us help you, Padres.
Please.
Help us to help you.
Yes.
For Tony, Scraby, Chris Ello, 55-47, Carolina by 8. 3 minutes to go in that one. Have a good weekend, everybody.